In the dry season, the African savanna transforms into a landscape of dust and desperation. Rivers shrink to muddy trickles. Grass that once stood tall and green now lies flattened and brown, brittle beneath the relentless sun. Temperatures climb past 42 degrees, and the air itself seems to shimmer with heat. In this season of scarcity, every creature faces the same brutal truth. Water is life, shade is precious, and death waits in places you would never expect. The lion pride rests beneath the scattered acacia trees, their golden bodies stretched across the baked earth. Cubs tumble and play, unaware of the dangers that surround them. Their mothers watch with half-closed eyes, alert even in apparent sleep. They guard against the obvious threats. Hyenas that would snatch an unattended cub, rival male lions that would kill to establish dominance, leopards that hunt under cover of darkness. But today, the danger will come from below. From the grass itself. From a creature that fears nothing, not even the king of beasts, the cobra. A serpent whose venom can fell an elephant. A predator that strikes without warning and kills without remorse. In the dry season, cobras venture far from their usual territories, seeking prey wherever it can be found. And today, one cobra has wandered too close to something it should have avoided. A mother's love, a lioness's fury, protective instinct that transcends the laws of predator and prey. In the savannah, size does not always determine the victor. Strength does not guarantee survival. Sometimes the battle is decided by something far more powerful, the willingness to die for those you protect, fight, shield, or sacrifice. Today, fangs will meet claws. Venom will challenge muscle. A mother will prove that nothing on earth is more dangerous than a lioness defending her young. Welcome to Wildlife Pulse. Lion defends its cub from cobra in dry savanna grass. A rare protective moment. The African savanna during the dry season is more than a sun-scorched wasteland. It is a crucible where the weak are eliminated and only the strongest, the smartest, and the most determined survive. Stretching across millions of square kilometers, from the Serengeti to the Masai Mara, from Kruger to the Okavango. This landscape has witnessed the drama of life and death for millions of years. Every tree tells a story. Every waterhole has seen triumph and tragedy. During the wet season, this land overflows with abundance. Grass grows thick and tall, hiding countless prey animals. Rivers run full, providing water for all. Predators and prey alike find enough to sustain them. But the dry season rewrites every rule. The grass dies back, exposing the ground beneath. Animals that once hid in the vegetation now stand visible against the bare earth. Herbivores concentrate around the remaining water sources, drawing predators like magnets. And with the grass shortened, other creatures emerge. Snakes that spent the wet season hidden in the dense vegetation now travel openly across the savanna. They seek the same thing everyone seeks: survival. The relationship between lion and snake is ancient, but rarely discussed.
Ow.
Lions do not hunt snakes. There is no nutrition worth the risk. Snakes do not hunt lions. The size difference makes it impossible. But conflict can arise from something other than predation, territory, accident, the simple misfortune of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. In the dry season savanna, every patch of shade becomes valuable real estate. Every depression in the ground that might hold moisture attracts attention. Creatures that would normally never encounter each other find themselves sharing the same shrinking resources. The acacia grove where our pride rests has provided shade for generations of lions. Its roots reach deep into the earth, tapping water sources that surface plants cannot access. During the dry season, it becomes an oasis of relative comfort in a landscape of suffering. But the lions are not the only ones who know this. Snakes seek shade with the same desperation as mammals. The African sun can kill a cold-blooded creature in hours if it cannot find refuge from the heat. Cobras, despite their fearsome reputation, are as vulnerable to overheating as any other reptile. Today, the lion's sanctuary and the cobra's survival need have created a collision course that neither species anticipated. In the savanna, the unexpected is the only certainty. The unexpected will test the limits of maternal instinct itself. In the hierarchy of African predators, the cobra occupies a unique position. It is not the largest snake on the continent. The python claims that title, It is not the fastest. The black mamba holds that record. But the cobra possesses something that commands respect from every creature it encounters. A weapon so devastating that size becomes irrelevant. It's a tool of death so efficient that speed hardly matters. Venom. The African cobra, specifically the snouted cobra that inhabits the Savannah regions, carries enough neurotoxic venom in a single bite to kill several adult humans. Its fangs, though smaller than those of vipers, deliver their payload with surgical precision. A mature cobra can reach lengths of nearly 2 meters. Its body, muscular and agile, can strike at distances of up to 1/3 its total length. The strike itself happens faster than the human eye can follow, faster than most mammals can react. When threatened, the cobra rises. Its hood spreads wide, transforming a slender neck into a broad, intimidating display. This is not mere bluster. The hood signals that the cobra is prepared to defend itself with lethal force. The venom attacks the nervous system with terrifying efficiency. Within minutes of a bite, victims experience difficulty breathing as the muscles that control respiration begin to fail. Without treatment, death follows within hours. Even the mighty elephant gives the cobra space. A bite to the trunk, one of the few places where a cobra could penetrate elephant skin, can prove fatal to the largest land animal on Earth. This particular cobra has survived 3 dry seasons in the savannah, has killed countless rodents, birds, and smaller snakes. It has faced down mongooses, its only natural predator, and emerged victorious. It has learned the landscape intimately, knowing every burrow, every termite mound, every patch of shade. Today, driven by the relentless heat, it has traveled farther than usual in search of refuge. The acacia grove promised cool earth and deep shadows. The cobra moved toward it without hesitation. It did not know that lions rested there. Its heat-sensing abilities detect warm-blooded creatures, but at a distance. The sleeping pride registered is nothing more than large shapes to avoid. The cobra seeks only shade. It has no interest in confrontation. Unlike some of its relatives, it does not display aggression without cause. Given the choice, it would slide past the lions without incident. But fate rarely offers such choices. The approach brings the cobra within meters of something it has never encountered before. A lion cub, separated from its mother by the innocent distance of play, resting in a patch of grass that the cobra intended to cross. The serpent pauses, tongue flicking, reading the chemical signatures in the air. It detects the cub, but does not recognize the danger. To the cobra, this is merely another warm-blooded obstacle to navigate around. It continues forward, seeking the shade beyond. And in doing so, it triggers a confrontation that will echo through the savannah. The lioness embodies everything that makes the African lion the undisputed monarch of the savannah. But while male lions capture human imagination with their magnificent manes and thunderous roars, it is the female who truly rules the pride. She is the hunter. While males may participate in taking down large prey, the females execute the vast majority of kills that sustain the pride. Their bodies are built for pursuit, their minds honed for strategy, their instincts sharpened by generations of successful hunts. She is the protector. Cubs depend on their mothers entirely for the first years of life. Without maternal protection, no cub survives. Hyenas, leopards, rival males, even other females from competing prides, all pose threats that only a mother's vigilance can counter. A mature lioness weighs approximately 130 kilograms. Her muscles, visible beneath the tawny coat, can propel her at speeds exceeding 50 kilometers per hour in short bursts. Her claws, retractable like all felines, extend to nearly 4 centimeters when deployed. But her most formidable weapon is her bite. A lioness can generate bite force exceeding 650 pounds per square inch. Her canine teeth measure over 5 centimeters in length. A single bite can crush bone, sever spinal cords, and end lives in seconds. This particular lioness, the alpha female of her pride, has raised 7 cubs to adulthood over her 12 years of life. She has fought hyenas, 2 standstills, driven leopards from trees, and once killed a rival female who threatened her offspring. She knows the savannah better than any other member of her pride. The dry season always heightens her vigilance. The shortened grass means less cover for approaching enemies. The concentrated prey means more competition from rival predators. The stressed animals mean unpredictable behavior from creatures normally predictable. She has positioned herself precisely 6 meters from where her latest cub plays. Far enough to give the young one space to develop independence, close enough to intervene in seconds if necessary. Her eyes appear closed, but a careful observer would notice the slight flutter of her eyelids, the occasional rotation of her ears, the subtle tension in muscles that seem completely relaxed. She is not sleeping. She has not truly slept since her cub was born 4 months ago. When the cobra enters her awareness, she does not react immediately. Her senses have detected movement in the grass, but movement is constant in the savannah. Birds hop, rodents scurry, insects swarm. Not every motion demands response, but then the movement pattern registers. The particular sinuous progress that no legged creature can replicate, the direction that leads directly toward her cub. Her eyes open fully. The relaxation vanishes. Every fiber of her being focuses on a single point in the brown grass where something dangerous approaches. The most precious thing in her world. The protective instinct that has driven mothers since the first mammal nursed the first offspring now floods her system with purpose. Nothing will touch her cub. Nothing. The cub notices the cobra first. To a 4-month-old lion, everything in the world exists as either play or food. The strange rope-like creature sliding through the grass triggers curiosity rather than fear. The cub has never seen a snake before. It does not understand the danger. It reaches out with a paw, attempting to bat at the interesting new toy. The cobra reacts on pure instinct. Threatened by the sudden movement, it rises into its defensive posture. The hood spreads wide. A hiss cuts through the dry air. The cub, startled by the sudden transformation, stumbles backward with a cry of confusion. That cry reaches the lioness before the echo fades. She covers the 6 meters in less than a second. Not running exactly, but flowing across the ground in a blur of tawny motion that seems to bend the laws of physics. She places herself between her cub and the cobra in a movement so fast that the snake barely registers the change. One moment, the cobra faced a small, clumsy predator in training. The next, it faces the full fury of a mature lioness in protective mode. The lioness does not hesitate, does not assess, does not calculate odds or measure risks. Her cub is threatened. Everything else is irrelevant. She roars. The sound shakes the air itself. Birds explode from the acacia trees. Small mammals freeze in their burrows. This is not the roar that marks territory or signals the pride. This is the roar of war. The declaration that death has arrived and is prepared to be delivered.
Out.
The cobra holds its ground. Millions of years of evolution have programmed it to never retreat from a threat display. Flight triggers pursuit. Standing firm often causes aggressors to reconsider. But the cobra has never faced a lioness protecting offspring. The savannah creates these stories daily, witnessed only by the participants and the occasional fortunate observer. Lions continue to reign as the apex predators of the grasslands. No other creature combines their size, strength, social organization, and predatory skill. But they are not invulnerable. Disease claims them. Injury sidelines them. Old age defeats them. Cobras continue to command respect from every creature they encounter. Their venom remains one of nature's most sophisticated weapons, but they too face challenges. Mongooses have evolved immunity to their poison. Secretary birds hunt them from above. Human encroachment destroys their habitat. Neither species truly dominates the other. They coexist in a balance shaped by millions of years of mutual avoidance. Today's confrontation was an anomaly, a rare collision of circumstances that normally never align. Hyenas patrolled the margins of lion territory, waiting for moments of weakness to exploit. They would have taken the cub if the cobra had succeeded in its accidental threat. Leopards watch from the trees, calculating risks and opportunities with cold precision. A pride distracted by internal conflict might leave a cub unguarded long enough. Elephants move through the landscape like living mountains, reshaping the very terrain with their passage. They fear nothing except fire, drought, and the strange two-legged creatures who come with thunder sticks. Buffalo gather in herds that number in the thousands, their collective strength capable of driving even lion prides from water sources they wish to claim. Each creature plays its part in the eternal drama. Predators keep prey populations healthy by culling the weak and sick. Prey animals sustain predators through their abundance. Plants feed the herbivores. Decomposers return nutrients to soil that feeds the plants. the circle continues. But increasingly, that circle faces pressures it was never designed to withstand. The greatest threat facing both lion and cobra wears no fangs and carries no venom. It walks on two legs and believes itself the master of all it surveys. Humanity has transformed the African savanna more dramatically in the past century than natural forces have in the past million years. Landscapes that once stretched unbroken from horizon to horizon now fragment into isolated patches separated by farms, roads, and cities. The lion population has collapsed catastrophically. 100 years ago, an estimated 200,000 lions roamed Africa. Today, fewer than 25,000 remain. It represents a decline of nearly 90% in a single century. The causes are multiple. Habitat loss destroys the territory lions need to hunt and raise young. Human-wildlife conflict leads to retaliatory killings when lions take livestock. Cobras face similar pressures, though their numbers are harder to track. As humans expand into wilderness areas, snake encounters increase. Fear drives killing. Killing reduces snake populations. Reduced snake populations lead to explosions in rodent numbers, which damage crops and spread disease. The irony is bitter. Creatures we kill for our protection often protect us more than we realize. The lioness strikes, not with her jaws, too risky given the cobra's own striking ability, but with her paw. Claws extended, she swipes at the cobra with enough force to shatter bone. The cobra dodges, its reflexes honed by countless confrontations with mongooses. But its evasion takes it closer to the cub rather than away. Wrong direction. The lioness adjusts instantly, her body pivoting to maintain her position as the living shield between serpent and offspring. Her second strike comes faster than the first, giving the cobra no time to recover from its dodge. Contact. The claws rake across the cobra's body. Not deep enough to kill, but deep enough to draw blood. It strikes. The lioness pulls back, but not quickly enough. The cobra's fangs scrape across her foreleg, catching in the thick fur, but failing to penetrate the skin beneath. Close, so close to disaster. But close is not good enough. The lioness still stands. Her cub still lives. The cobra, wounded, and now facing an opponent that shows no fear of its venom, makes the calculation that every wild creature must eventually make. Is this fight worth dying for? The answer, for a creature whose only goal was finding shade, is clear. The cobra retreats. Not a panicked flight, but a measured withdrawal, keeping its hood raised and its fangs ready. It slides backward through the grass, never turning its back on the lioness who watches every centimeter of its retreat. The lioness does not pursue. Chasing a wounded cobra through dry grass with a cub nearby would be foolish. She has one. Her offspring is safe. That is enough. Only when the cobra has disappeared into the distant grass does she turn to her cub. The young one is unharmed. Frightened, certainly, pressing against its mother's legs with wide eyes and trembling limbs. Ow. But no fang marks, no venom, no injury. The lioness lowers her head and licks her cub's face, a gesture of reassurance that mothers across the mammalian world would recognize instantly. You are safe. I am here. Nothing will ever hurt you while I breathe. The pride gathers around them, drawn by the commotion. Other females press close, adding their presence to the protective circle. Males who had been sleeping nearby now stand alert, scanning the grass for additional threats. The danger is past, but the lesson remains. The African savanna operates on principles that human morality cannot easily comprehend. There are no villains in this landscape. There are no heroes. There are only creatures doing what they must to survive. The cobra was not evil for approaching the cub. It sought shade, nothing more. Its venom exists, not from malice, but from millions of years of evolutionary pressure that rewarded efficient killing. The lioness was not heroic for defending her young. She responded to instincts so deep it predates consciousness itself. Every mother throughout mammalian history has carried this same programming. Courage, sacrifice, love, protection. Conservation efforts have achieved remarkable successes in some areas. Protected reserves in Kenya, Tanzania, and South Africa maintain healthy lion populations. Community-based programs that share tourism revenue with local people reduce retaliatory killings. Breeding programs preserve genetic diversity. But the challenges continue to multiply. Climate change intensifies droughts, pushing wildlife and humans into ever closer contact. Economic pressures tempt poachers despite strict laws. Political instability undermines conservation programs that require long-term commitment. The lioness who defended her cub today lives within a protected area. She may never encounter a human directly, but the boundaries of her world shrink each year as the human world expands. Her cub, if it survives to adulthood, will likely have fewer options than she had. Smaller territory, more competition, greater risk. The cobra that retreated into the grass faces equal uncertainty. Its habitat shrinks. Its prey base shifts. The stable world it evolved to exploit becomes less stable with each passing season. Neither creature knows the forces that shape its destiny. Neither can comprehend the choices being made in distant capitals that will determine whether its species survives or vanishes. They know only the immediate, the sun, the hunger, the threat, the protection. That is enough. Perhaps that focus on the present moment, so foreign to human consciousness, is what has allowed wildlife to survive this long. But increasingly, their survival depends not on their own actions but on ours. Closing the savannah falls quiet as evening approaches. The lioness rests with her cub tucked securely against her side. The pride surrounds them, a fortress of tawny bodies and watchful eyes. Tomorrow will bring new challenges, new hunts, new threats, but tonight there is peace. Somewhere in the distant grass, a cobra coils in shade finally found. Its wounds will heal.
Ow!
Its hunting will resume. It holds no grudge against the lioness who drove it away. Grudges are human inventions, unknown to creatures who live entirely in the present. The savannah is not just a place, it is a testament. A testament to the power of instinct, to the depths of maternal love, to the courage that emerges when those we protect face danger. The lioness did not think before she charged the cobra. She did not weigh risks or calculate outcomes. She simply acted, driven by something older than thought itself. That instinct connects her to every mother who has ever lived. Lion or human, elephant or mouse, the drive to protect offspring transcends species boundaries. Perhaps that connection offers hope. If we can see ourselves in the lioness's desperate charge, perhaps we can extend our protection beyond our own young. Perhaps we can recognize that the same instinct that drove her to defend her cub can drive us to defend her species. The cub will grow. It will learn to hunt, to fight, to perhaps raise cubs of its own. The circle will continue, as it has for millions of years, but only if we choose to let it. What we decide in the coming years, whether to protect these wild places or to consume them, will determine whether scenes like today's continue or become mere memories preserved in old documentaries. The lioness asks nothing from us. She does not know we exist. But her survival, and the survival of her cubs and their cubs after them, depends entirely on choices we have yet to make. In the dry grass of the savannah, a mother defended her child against a deadly threat. She won today. And subscribe to Wildlife Pulse so we can keep bringing you these extraordinary moments from the wild places of our world. The savannah waits as the stories continue.